excited for what we have going on tonight. I promise I'm going to shut up and hand it over to the ladies, but Nicole has been growing her team and she's been working with the best people. And ever since convention, there's like, we were like, who do we pick for this call? Because there's been so many people that are absolutely crushing it. But Tara and Haley, both pretty new with us, haven't been with us a long time, since convention, and even over the last month have gone from like, hey, I'm a brand new agent, to kind of just figuring this thing out, to like kicking it up a notch. I think Tara has probably submitted 20 grand in the last like 2 weeks. She's absolutely crushing it. Haley Fessel just started with us and she's like recruiting the world. So we really, really wanted to get these two girls on to share with you what they're doing, talk about their story, what you can implement to do it. And I'm really excited to have them on, you guys, because the one thing, well, I want you guys to take a lot, so make sure you take notes, but something so important about this, guys, is like a lot of people get really fearful because they're like, I haven't been here that long, so I don't know what to do. Or Marissa's been here 4 years, so she has a lot more experience than me. Or Nicole's been here 2 years, so she knows what to do. These ladies are taking the bull by the horns and like just like running with it. So make sure, guys, you do not have to be here for a gazillion years before you start absolutely crushing it. And if you're uncomfortable, these ladies are going to put that to rest tonight. So thank you guys for getting on. Nicole, I'm gonna shut up. I'm not saying a word the rest of the time. You take it away.
Well, thanks for having us, Marissa. We are very thankful, and I'm super, super, super excited to have two of my agents on tonight. So again, thank you for having us. We are all very excited to have here or be here. So I kind of just wanted to start with Tara just to get things going. She said, "Oh, go." Tara, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you kind of came from, just like a quick recap so we can kind of get your backstory.
Hello. Hi everyone. So I'm Tara. Insurance, well, working in the medical field was pretty much everything I know. I was a firefighter, EMT, worked in dialysis, and did real estate all at the same time, pretty much. I decided that after I got injured in the fire department to kind of slow it down a little bit. I've been on one side of it, so seeing somebody at the worst part of their life was a little bit different. So I decided to kind of move gears and get into life insurance. I probably looked at every TikTok video before I actually made this choice. And it's so funny because I saw Marissa first and I was going to join her team and then I didn't. And then it's funny how it comes back full circle. 2 years later, I'm like, I'm with Marissa and Nicole. So I started, from the medical field, and then I ended up here. I've had my license for 2 years. I've jumped in and out, kind of did a few sales, stop. I decided after meeting Nicole, she's kind of like, no, I'm not playing no games with you. You either going to get on this Zoom call right now or we're going to have some problems. Like, and I never had that. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm working now. So that kind of jump started my butt. And it took a little bit, and thank God for Elizabeth. She helped manage me in the background and kind of get me set to join a team. And I mean, I went full force at the end of December, and it's just been since then.
I love it. Yeah. So I was going to kind of touch with you really quick. So you have been, in and out of the business for a couple years, right? And I know that at the beginning, especially when you first started with my agency, that you were like, kind of like, yeah, I'll buy like some leads here and there. Or I'll, use some old leads that I had when I was, here 2 years ago or whatever the case may be. Right. But these last couple months, you've really been putting in and you've been investing in yourself and buying leads. So I just wanted you to kind of touch on like what changed and then what kind of difference have you seen since you'd started investing in yourself and buying those leads?
I think even before we did it, when we did the conference in October, and just hearing everybody saying like, you have to invest in yourself. There's no other way. You have to do it. People were like, some of the speakers didn't have 2 pennies to rub together. They took out a credit card, took out a loan, borrowed money, did whatever they had to do to get the leads, to at least get that first hump out. So, I mean, I was holding on to these 3-year-old leads, like, one day they're going to answer, and I think after that, I was like, you know what, if I don't just like pray on it and just release it and just give the money, it'll never come back to me. Like, I just have to like bet on myself, because if I don't bet on me, who's gonna help? So
Yeah.
for me.
And do you mind sharing, like, because I'm sure everyone's kind of wondering how much, so just for, to get your, lead costs going, and how much are you kind of spending weekly right now on leads? Like what's your overall, weekly or monthly spend, would you say?
I would say my monthly spend is anywhere between 5,000 to 8,000 a month.
Okay, perfect. But so the month of January, do you have like an estimate of how much you wrote?
Ye-
And I know a lot of that still has to issue because a lot of it's NLG. So,
yeah, so a little over 30.
okay. So you spent 5 to 8 and you
Yep.
wrote
And then
30.
I spent a little bit less because I was just starting out. So 5,000 was like the cutoff. Now I'm like, okay, and we can go a little higher. But 5,000 in January, and yeah, I was able to get
Oh,
30. Mm-hmm.
love it. And you're doing mostly IUL social media leads, correct?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
100%. Mm-hmm.
I love it. Okay, awesome. Well, we will come back to you. Haley, I just wanted to get you on here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of how you got into the industry, where you came from. Tell us a little bit about your.
Yeah, so I decided to go to college, right out of high school in Montana State. Um, Went across the country for it and then dropped out and I didn't know what to do. So I figured, um, instead of, you know, I worked at Panda Express and Victoria's Secret 16-hour days because I knew I had to get money. I dove into real estate, solar sales, door to door, car sales, everything under the sun. And I figured, like, I just turned 21, so why not bet on myself now when I don't have kids, I don't have a mortgage. Um, it was better for me in my mindset to kind of take that risk instead of settling for a salary job, wondering like what more could I do or like what could have I done. So that's kind of, I mean, it's short, but that's
Yeah,
about
no,
it.
I love it. So, what's kind of the difference that you have seen so far? Like, you've been in sales for a while, right? Like car sales, door to door, all the things, right? Solar. So, what is the difference, or what's making you enjoy or, be more successful at life insurance sales compared to, all the other sales that you've been in?
Yeah. So a lot of it is very much so culture. And as much as I want to say like I would be able to own a dealership one day, like never gonna happen anytime soon, or like a solar company, like I have very much so have an entrepreneur mindset. And with this business, after watching your popcorn video, I was like, if she can do it, I can do it, and I just have to figure out like how to do it. And obviously, like I joined high ticket sales too, just because of that fact, like. I wanted to make money somehow, like I was going to find a way. And obviously, being in the business for a little bit, like I know that the harder I work, the more I'm gonna get paid just because like I don't want to be working, at Panda Express, working harder than everybody around me getting paid the same or even less than them. So I figured that how I've succeeded here is I've just put in the work and have been a complete sponge. Like anything that you say, especially at convention, I took everything that everybody said and just applied it to my business.
I love that. And just to kind of touch on that really quick. So when you first got into the business, you came out of the gates like running, right? And most of that was from your warm market. So really quick before we do the switch into what you're doing now, what made you feel comfortable, or like how were you comfortable reaching out and selling to your warm market? Because I know, maybe funds were a little weird at the beginning and you're like, I'm making this work, so I'm going to reach out to literally, and when I say you guys, she reached out to like probably every single person that she knows on the face of the earth. Like that's what she did. And that's what her first, like what month of sales was from, right? So how did you become comfortable, or why were you comfortable reaching out to, the warm market for your first couple sales?
Yeah, so I wasn't comfortable doing it. I just know that I was gonna make this work, and I did this full time, like, and I came from not having a job for 3 months because I left car sales, moved, and then I knew I wasn't going back to a 9 to 5, so that's when I think the first Saturday that I joined, there was, like, a warm market training, and Devin, I think is his name, he said he sold 30K. I was like, "Okay, well, I can do this. Look at all these contacts that I have, they're just sitting there," and so I literally sent out messages on top of messages a day, because I knew I had to. Like, I didn't have the money to spend for leads at the time, and I had bills to pay, and I knew if I didn't pay those bills, then obviously, like, I'd be in a worse situation. So it definitely was like I knew I had to get comfortable being uncomfortable, just because if I wasn't uncomfortable, I wouldn't grow.
Love it. And then, after a while, you kind of, I feel like, ran out of people to reach out to because you blasted it, right? So there was like a point of time of like a couple weeks that you kind of were like not on the downhill, but like you kind of were just didn't really write any business, right? And then you went to convention. After convention, you came back and you invested in leads. And then I think, what was it, last week or the week before was, I think, your biggest week yet, which was you submitted what, like $12,000 to $15,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
So what kind of, what happened at convention, or like what changed for you to be like, okay, I'm ready to start investing myself and I need to kind of take the chance?
Yeah, so I could hear you say all day long, get on Zoom, do this, do that, but it's completely different hearing it from every single person at convention who is on that stage making 400 to 500K. So I knew, like, if so many people, and it wasn't just like one stereotype, it's a variety of people. So I knew, if I just took what they did and applied it to my business, then obviously I would get a result. So definitely my lead spend has been a lot more. I kind of just squeezed out everything that I could with my old leads and just prayed for the best. But I took that leap of faith. I think I texted you. I was like, listen, I'm just going to do it. I know I need to. So instead of buying 30 leads, I bought 50. And then obviously from that, I wrote about 15K last week. So
I love it. Well, great job. Tara, let me come back to you really quick. Can you tell everyone what your schedule looks like right now? So I just want everyone to know really quick, Tara is so funny. She was on a cruise like last week or the week before or something like that. And I'm like, Tara, aren't you on vacation? Like, she was on Zoom every single day. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, Nicole, you said, like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. I got to work. So, like, I got to make money. And, like, I think your wife was, like, chilling in the background or whatever the case may be. And she's like, we'll go later. We'll enjoy ourselves a little bit later, right? Like, she's like, I got to make some money. I don't care where I am, right? So, Tara, what does your kind of day-to-day schedule look like? And why do you think it's important to have such a strict schedule?
I think, and it's very true, and Elise said it too. Yes, even at convention, I was like, I got an appointment. I got to go. It's because my clients come first. End of story. Clients come first. So if I'm helping a family, I make it happen. I remember when I got a lead in, I think it was like 6 o'clock at night. And usually I try to wrap up the day, okay, at 7 if I can. And he was like, I'm at the gym right now. He's like, I was like, all right, well, we can set an appointment. I can call you tomorrow. He was like, no, can you call me back tonight? And I was like, tonight? And I'm like trying to be in bed. And he was like, yeah, can you call me back at like around 10:30? And then, I stayed up for that. And I was there writing that application at 10:30 to midnight. And that's when I dropped it in the chat. So, they come first. You got to make yourself flexible. My family understands. My wife definitely understands. We can have so many vacations. That's all I do is go on vacation. And at the end of the day, who's going to support these vacations? Who's going to support my lifestyle? So I have to be able to. So you just have to be super flexible. I try to go into a routine. I get up every morning, 5 a.m., 5:30, go to the gym or pull something working out. And I have my coffee, I have my shake, and I'm on a computer at 8:30, somewhere around there, and I'm ready to rock and roll. And I could be on Zoom literally from 8 till 8 p.m., 9 p.m. It depends on the day. I've ran Zoom appointments in the car while actively driving. You got to do what you got to do.
I love it. Now what about like what days are you working? Like if somebody's like, oh, can you call me on Sunday? You're like, no, Sunday is my day off. Or like where's your kind of, do you take a day off? What's your schedule look like on the days?
I'll do 7 days a week if they need me. I'll try to mentally say Sunday so I can at least like cook and prep and stuff. But at least I'll do like half a Sunday, like get all my stuff done earlier. And I try not to bother people extremely Sunday morning. And then I'll try to run appointments in the evening or the afternoon on a Sunday because I feel like everybody's out of church or wherever they was doing and they'll be more calmer.
Love it. Okay, cool. And then Haley, I wanted to touch on recruiting with you really quick. So you came out of the gates and you were like, I'm not only going to write a bunch of business, but I'm going to start recruiting even though I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So why was it important to you to start recruiting right off the bat, even though you had never made a sale? I remember from day one, you're like, I want to build an agency. Like, here's this person, here's this person, here's this person. And you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, can you help me? And I'm like, yeah, I can, I'm here for you. Right. But why was it important for you to start building an agency right out the gates?
Yeah, so I knew it was important. Obviously, I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew you taught me so much, so I knew they could have access to you as well. But I knew it was important because in the long run, like I want to build a business, I'm wanting to build a business. So I knew if I didn't start as soon as I started, then I would be however months behind. Like, if I started 6 months into the business, then I wouldn't have what I have now, just because I haven't been in the business 6 months. But I knew there were a lot of people. What were you saying to them? Oh, okay. I was saying, what was I saying? What did I say to you? I recruited him too. I'm making him sit here and listen to me talk. But most of the time, like, I would just show up to their house or like get them to hang out with me. And then I'd be like, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing. So you should try it. Like, what do we have to lose? Because we're all young. And most of the time I drug them into it. And after each call with my clients, I say, hey, like, so I'm your agent for life. When I'm recruiting people, I was like, yeah, so unfortunately, like, we're stuck with each other for life now because I put you in this group chat with Elizabeth. And so we're stuck for life. But it's like, I mean, I just figured since, I was going to build a business, then I couldn't be behind if I didn't start right then and there.
I love that. And that is so true. And there are so many people that come into this business and they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not comfortable and maybe I won't succeed. Right. So they're nervous to recruit and bring people on and start building their agency right off, day one. But it is very true. Like, just because, let's say, Haley, I know this would never happen, but let's say I did bring you on and, things didn't work out and after a week, you're like, oh, I haven't made any sales. I'm out. Right. Like, that's still you holding that opportunity back from somebody else who could be successful in it, right? So you could still be changing other people's life, even if it doesn't work out for you. Obviously that wasn't the case for you because you're freaking killing it, which is awesome. As far as social media goes, so not only did you reach out to people for your warm market for, selling, but you also reached out to people and started posting on social media. And you're like, you post on social media like, you wouldn't believe. This girl is posting on TikTok, Instagram. I don't know what other weird accounts she's got going on, but she's posting on all the things. So what are you posting or what are you saying that you're getting so many people to reach out to you?
Yeah, so not only social media, I'm more of like an attraction market. So I'll post that I just protected a family like 3,400. I'll post all of my first agent sales as well. But my biggest thing I have to say is I like to go shopping a lot. And so I know like somebody tried to sell me a phone at Target. And so I said, yo, you want a real job? And so I recruited him. There's somebody on here I met in Texas too. He was our server. I said, hey, how long have you been working here? He's like, whatever. I said, what do you want to do in the future? Do this. So he's actually on here right now, which is funny. But I know Jay Maska said this at the convention, like people are wanting the opportunity. It's your job to find those people. So I make it a goal for me to say, hey, like, how long have you been doing this? Like, do you like it? What are your future plans? And if they're like, yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to do, then you're like, well, I have a job. Every Uber, they're working their own schedule. They're making their own hours. They can make a lot more here. And so you just have to present that opportunity in front of people, because the longer you're in it and the longer they see you doing it, the more that they're gonna come up to you. I've had people give me crap for so long, and those are the same people like, "Hey, like, what are you doing?" So I would just say, present the opportunity, post your sales, post your small wins, and just get the word out there.
Thank you. And then Tara, kind of coming back to you. So you are so funny on the phone. I love listening to you on Zoom. It's actually, you guys, if you haven't heard Tara on the phone, you guys should get on Zoom and listen to this girl, because she makes these clients feel more comfortable than you probably are with your mom. Okay. This girl is like, man, come on. Like, what are we talking about here? Come on. Like, are we doing this or what? Right. So Tara, why don't you talk to me a little bit about like objections that you get on the phone, how you overcome them, how you make clients feel so comfortable, right? So let's say, you're on a call with somebody, maybe go through like, how you make them feel comfortable at the beginning of the call, and then any objections that you get a lot and how you overcome those.
All right. Yes, I am a hoot on the phone. For me, I try not to sound, I tried the monotone, and sometimes it worked for people. It really didn't work for me because then I sounded weird. I'm just a bubbly personality. So I try not to be too bubbly and sound salesy. So it's just that middle piece. But I say, hey, how you going? I realize even crazy with even calling someone, just saying, hey, how are you today, Jessica? How you doing? It in their mind, when they say hi, when I answer, hi, this is Tara, your financial advisor, they immediately hate me. They either, I want to get off the phone right now. They think I'm a salesperson. If I go, hey, Jess, how you doing today? Hey, how are you? Then now they think, oh, you know me? Oh, okay, we friends. You know my name. So it's like it's different. It's different in that aspect. And then another thing I do when I'm talking to them, I always say, hey, I'm going to be your insurance agent for life. I make sure they get my license. I read off my license number. I make sure they get my hi hello card, my business card, save my number, reach out to me. Sometimes, okay, do not tell them, call you anytime. I'm here 24/7. I say that to people. I literally had a client text me at 2 a.m. and I was up, but I was not going to give him the satisfaction to know that I was up. So I waited till 8 a.m. to text him. And he was like, I thought you said you was 24/7. I was like, well, you didn't get that privilege. So you just got to know like how to talk to them. But I always make sure I give my card. I always make sure that I'm like, hey, I want to make sure at the end of this call that you leave here feeling empowered about leaving generational wealth to your family. Like just saying that alone, they'd be like, okay, so she really cares about me. I want you to save my card. I want you to save my license, because I'm pretty sure in the case of the worst day of your family's life, they're going to be looking through your phone. They're going to be looking through your emails to try to see, did they leave something? I want to make sure that they have access to me so that I'm able to get them the death benefit they need to be able to take care of it. So you have to pretty much empower them and just be as open and as honest. Card, before we even talk about IULs, I make sure they got my license, because I want to make sure that they're confident that they know that I've been licensed by the state of whatever state it is, and that they can entrust that you have my personal information before they give me their social and their banking information. So I want to make sure that I build that kind of connection from the beginning before we even talk about IULs. I say, before I can even have a conversation with you, I need to make sure you have my license. Can you verify you have it? Can you verify you have my card? So for me, that's what I do.
And out of like, if you had to pick like one or two of the most objections that you get here and there, like what one would you say that you get the most?
Oh, I think I'm going to just think about it. That's a big one. I'm going to just think about it. Well, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about that you don't really care about your family? Because I've told them that. Is it that you don't really love or care about your family, so you don't really need to protect them or leave any kind of generational wealth? Or are you thinking about maybe that amount doesn't work for me? Because I can fix that. I can't fix the love you have for your family, but we can fix the amount. So what exactly is there that you need to think about? You know,
I love that.
I need to talk to my
Dude,
wife.
it's great.
Exactly. I need to talk to my wife about it. Okay. Well, that's good. I understand that, but I personally don't think that your wife would mind that you're leaving her something in case something was to happen to you. I think that is the right thing to do, that you're even thinking about protecting your family even before something is to happen. So that could be a gift for her. You know, you just got to like word it in a way that they understand, like, oh, okay, I guess that's right. And on top of that, I never said that you were approved. So we don't even know if we're going to give this gift to your wife. We don't know if you can get it yet. One step at a time.
That is gold. I love it, Tara. Great freaking job. Haley, you have been having some funny luck with IULs. So you have become the queen of a whole life pivot. So I want you to kind of touch on that with everyone really quick. So, somebody doesn't get approved for an IUL, and, the first couple times you're like, oh, I don't know, I'm nervous. Like, how do I do the pivot? Right. And I'm like, literally just read the script. And now you've done like, I feel like 45 million of them. But you've gotten really good, and you've only gotten like a couple here and there that say no, thank you. So how did you kind of overcome that fear of saying like, hey, like, you can't tell me what you want. This is what you can qualify for. And like, how have you done that pivot? Or like, if you need to pull up the script, like, I would love for you to go through what that pivot sounds like.
Yeah. It's like I don't even sell IULs anymore. I just sell a whole life. That's my whole week last week. I'll pull up the script real quick. But I make it sound like a really good thing because like today, for example, I had this guy who I was waiting for my license, just put in his application today, and he didn't get approved because something, and I was like, listen, like, unfortunately, we can't get you qualified for the IUL, but luckily, there is another product that's exactly the same. It's just permanent life insurance, so it has, let me see here. The policy offers the same key benefits, such as the death benefit to protect, your kid. I always say their beneficiary's name. The living benefits, and I know your favorite, the cash value accumulation. The main difference is the cash value won't accumulate as quickly as an IUL. However, the interest on your money will still be a lot higher than you would get in a savings account. And I don't pause. I don't give them a chance to be like, yeah, no, that's not what I want. I just say, yeah, so I'll structure the policy to match the whatever per month that we discussed, maximizing your cash accumulation within the potential plan. And so then I just go ahead, I already have the application pulled up, and I said, yeah, so this is like the coverage that we can get you. But the biggest thing that I've heard, and that I've changed from my first time, because the first time I did it, I don't even know how I sold it. It sounded terrible. But you kind of take it, you're monotone, but then I'm sure Kalani's on here. I told her to do this, like, luckily, like, think you're high pitch, like, luckily, like, you want to make it sound like it's a really good, the best thing on the world. And then they don't really have a hesitation about it because you frame it as like it being the same thing. I mean, they're still getting protected and they're still getting that cash accumulation. But obviously just not as much as an IUL. So
love it. So basically what you're saying, if you were to tell somebody like, hey man, you're not going to get this, unfortunately, but we do have another product that's pretty similar. But unfortunately we can't get you the IUL. So did you want to go forward with this one? You don't think that they would buy from me?
no,
Okay.
absolutely not. You got to hype it up.
Gotta hype it up. Okay. I gotcha. I'll use that. Cool. Awesome. Great job. And then just to kind of sum it up, I just want to ask you guys each just one more question for anybody on here. So you guys I'll ask both of you the same question, but if you could give a new agent or an agent who's been here for a while but hasn't really produced much, one piece of advice that's kind of if they're looking to take their business to the next level, what's that one piece of advice that you will give them? And you can go, we have like 10 more minutes. So if you guys want to go in depth with it, you can. But Tara, we'll start with you. What's like one piece of advice, one or two pieces of advice that you would give a new agent or an agent who isn't producing much yet, but wants to take their business to the next level?
I would say bet on yourself 100%. Like, you have to bet on yourself. If you do not fully immerse yourself in the learning and train and be like literally an open book for knowledge, and jump on that Zoom every day and unmute. If you feeling a little weird, unmute. There is literally a whole team of people that will jump in there and make sure you're good. We all want to see everybody win. We want everybody to be making money. We want to see everybody win. So you literally just need to have faith in yourself. You get to the finish line, maybe you get some leads and then you freaked out because they don't answer. Or, oh my gosh, I called them 5 times. It literally takes 5. I've had clients 5 to 10 times before I actually got them on the phone. 5 to 10 times. You don't know what's going on in someone's life. Telesales is double times hard. I could see if you were knocking on someone's door. We're not doing that. We're literally answering the phone. They can choose to walk past the house or walk wherever and see the phone and not pick up. You're going to stop calling them? You do not stop calling them. You call them and call them and call them until you can't stop calling them, okay? Until they tell you to F off. And even then, call from a different number. There should be no reason that you can't call them. Switch up your voice. Give it a little pizzazz. Whatever you have to do, call them. Because at some point in time, especially if you're getting these leads, they put their information into that system. Don't tell me you forgot. I forgot what I had for breakfast. That's great. So let's get you protected today. And if not today, tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, I would keep calling. Let's just check this little thing off your box. You won't have to hear. You don't have to. I won't bother you. We'll get you taken care of. You are obviously thinking about it. It's a decision that you're making emotionally. It's an emotional decision. So let's get you taken care of, and you continuously call them. So do not stop.
I cannot. For anybody who hasn't met Tara, this is exactly how she is in person too. So anyone who wants to meet her, I'm sure she comes to all of our conferences and conventions. I'm sure she'll be at Ignite. So everyone needs to get there just to meet her because she is freaking hilarious. So, okay, Haley, on to you. What is one piece of advice or two pieces of advice that you would give new agents or agents who are kind of looking to take their business to the next level?
Yeah, so I think mindset at least is the biggest thing for me. I have to check in with myself some days after every single call. Every call is a new call. So if you're dialing for 8 hours a day, just because the 9th hour you dialed doesn't mean like nobody's answered, just doesn't mean the 9th hour nobody's going to answer too. So you have to kind of treat every call like a brand new call. I have sticky notes all over my apartment that says, get up, don't press snooze, like with my goals, just to remind me so I don't fall off track. Another thing is, consistency is key. I know at convention and a lot other times they said, this is your business, put your hours of operation on your door somewhere. And that's what I'm doing with all of my agents. I'm making them give me a schedule. It is be your own boss, make your own schedule. But to a certain extent, I know a lot of people, like for me, even though I came from sales, it was still kind of like a 9 to 5. Somebody told me when I was working. With this, I would make a sale, go out. Nicole would be like, yo, like, where you at? I was like, oh, I made a sale. And she said, get your butt back on Zoom. And so that's what I did. At first I was like, why is she doing this? She is so mean to me. Gosh. And then I went to conference or convention. I was like, okay, so it makes sense why she's saying that, because everybody else is getting up at 5 a.m. Like I can't keep I can't keep, setting off my alarm and then going to the gym in the middle of the day. So with that being said, yeah, like mindset. Yeah, Journey knows because I complained to her. Mindset and then setting a set schedule for yourself. That way, obviously, commitment is one of the biggest things in this industry. Nobody's going to be there telling you what to do. And so have an accountability partner. I know Journey and I have a little group chat for my agents. Like we all help each other, keep each other accountable. So if one of us isn't there, like we're blowing each other up because it's hard to do this business alone. So
that was a great answer, you guys. Well, thank you both so much for coming on this call, and hopefully everything was helpful. I know, I'm sure it was. Marissa, did you have one last question?
Yeah, I do. First of all, ladies, you guys crushed it. So I'm super proud of you. You guys have blown my expectations out of the water. So one thing I want to talk about, Nicole, and we'll end on this. So just like Haley and Tara both talked about Zoom being plugged in, and then you growing your team. And for anybody on this call that wants to grow a team, or you might be on like the other side of this business is weird when it comes to growing a team because everybody's independent contractors. So the reality is you have this thing where you're like, I'm an independent contractor. I can work when I want to work. That's true. I'm commission only sales. That's true. Right. But then you have this team, and Nicole, you have very strict expectations about like, you need to be on Zoom. I'm not going to help you. And some people are like, I really like that. Right. Like Haley and Tara are successful because of your expectations. But then some people are like, dude, why are you micromanaging me? Like I'm supposed to be independent contractor. Like what's up? So growing a team is weird because you're trying to manage a bunch of people who technically didn't sign up to be managed, but you do it for a reason. So talk about, because you didn't used to do this, and before you had these expectations, your team was not growing. And Haley made a good comment. She was like, I used to think Nicole was just being mean to me, but now she's crushing it and she's making a bunch of money. So talk about the expectations, why it might seem overbearing, but like what has changed for you guys since you started doing that?
So when I first started building an agency, I would kind of just bring anyone on because I was like, I'm just going to bring everyone on, and a couple of them got a stick, and I was just running through agents, right? Like non-serious agents, it was just a mess. And so I put quite a few guidelines on my interview calls when I'm, hiring people. And if they have any hesitation or anything, I'll just be like, hey, this isn't the agency for you, but, there's plenty of other agencies out there. I hope you find what you're looking for, right? So as far as like, getting started, so I require all of my agents to study and pass their exam within 2 weeks. Anything longer than that, then unfortunately that shows me a couple things that they're not like dedicated, they don't have the time, right? So if they can't study and pass their exam within 2 weeks, then they won't have the time to be successful in the industry. And then the other one would be getting on Zoom, because if you guys, and especially if you guys are in my agency and you guys can see, right? So all of the people who have been writing business, especially the last month, they are all the people who have plugged in on Zoom almost every single day, or as much as they could, right? So I don't think I have one agent who is writing who isn't plugged into Zoom. And so like that just made me realize like, oh, like this actually does make a difference, right? So for me specifically, I'm like, I tell everyone like, hey, if I don't see you on Zoom putting in the work, like you guys should see my phone. Like Elizabeth is like a monster on this thing. She like texts in the group messages nonstop, right? So I get probably 100 to freaking probably more than that text messages a day. So it's like, I'm not checking that. I'm plugged into Zoom. I'm helping my agents on Zoom. They're unmuting. I'm listening to them. And so me being plugged into Zoom and not my phone is me focusing on the agents who are showing me that they're putting in the work. And it's just also a lot easier to help agents who are on Zoom, because through text message, like, oh, my client has this, or my client has that, or what do I do for this? And it's like, well, what did they say? Or what did you say that you missed out on that sale? Or like, what went wrong, right? Because if I always say when I hire people, if I can't hear you, I can't help you. And that is very, very true, because tonality is key, what they're saying, what you're saying. And that all helps with kind of the sales side of things. So hopefully.
Yeah. No, that answered my question. And also, guys, just for anyone who's like, well, I'm uncomfortable getting on Zoom and I don't know, and it just seems overbearing and it seems weird, you have to understand that it is out of love, right? Like if we didn't want you to make money, we wouldn't care. We'd be like, yeah, go sell insurance, right? And it is weird and uncomfortable. And every single time that I've been successful in this business, it is because somebody, not trying to be weird, but somebody was hard on me. Somebody for 1 second made me feel bad about myself, and somebody challenged me to do it. And then every time I did that, then it was like, okay, now this made sense. They did that out of love. So like, if you guys ever hear when I talk about Grady, like when I first went to the office with Grady, you guys all know Grady and you love him. He's really nice. He was a jerk to me. And I'd be like, why is he being so rude? Like he would act like he didn't know who I was when I came into the office, and he'd be like, oh, I didn't know you still worked here. Like he would almost like be like, and I'd be like, what do you, but then I would come show up to the office every single day. I would make my dials and I started making money. So I'd be like, okay, well, he was challenging me to make money because he loves me, because he wanted me to be successful. Like it's almost like that. They're your hard coach, right? So you guys have to start looking at things like Nicole's doing this. And Haley and Tara have been really successful because of themselves, but also because Nicole has held them to a standard of like, I don't want to recruit you into a business and then not have you make money. We have no desire to have a bunch of agents that are broke. We have no desire to have a bunch of people that, so you're like, well, she's yelling at me and she's telling me to get on Zoom and she's saying I'm not going to help you. It's for your own benefit, right? Same thing, even recruiting. Like eventually people were just like, Marissa, if you're not going to do it, we're not going to do it. And then I'd be like, shoot, they're kind of like writing me off. And it's not they're writing off, it's that we have to hold you to that high standard. And same thing dialing. My first day dialing, I would not have picked up the script if Clay Sweet didn't hand me the script and say, do it. And then I was like, wait, like right here. And he's like, yeah. And I thought the exact same thing. Like, Haley, when you said that, it resonated so much. I was like, dude, Clay's kind of a jerk. Like Grady's kind of a jerk. Like they're trying to micromanage me. I thought I was independent, but here's the thing. Every time I was saying that, I wasn't making any money. And every time someone challenged me and I listened to them and was like, I'll just do what they say because they must know what they're talking about, I started making money. So that's what you guys have to realize too, is like the business is business. It's not personal. And like if your manager or your team or the people around you are asking you to do that, it's because they have your best interest at heart. Your managers and the people around you, if they didn't care about you, they'd be like, okay, go. Okay, go make money. Call me when you make a sale. Sounds good. Talk to you later. They want you to be successful. They want you to make money. They want this to actually, you know, like Jamie and Elise, we talk about like you guys going full time. Like Nicole wouldn't be like, hey, go full time and do this if she didn't believe that she could get you to where she needs to get you to. She'd be like, definitely don't go full time. Like just keep staying at your job, right? So if anyone's having that kind of like mind block, right? Like someone told me the other day, they were messaging me like, well, I just feel like I'm being micromanaged. And I'm like, no problem. Join a different team if you want to, but do you want to make money? Because we're trying to micromanage you to have money in your bank account, and you can hate me all you want, but you're gonna have money. And then after that, you probably won't be mad about it anymore. So Nicole, I'm just giving you that shout out. You guys have been absolutely crushing it. The two ladies on this call have been plugged in every single day. Nicole's on Zoom every day. Des is on Zoom. I mean, Elise, Jenna, a bunch of these people on there. Anyone's willing to help you. I've been getting on more. So guys, plug in. Everyone's here. We're all one big team, and you ladies are crushing it. I'm really proud of you.